Okay, 3, 2, 1. I'm like, what?
How do we do this again?
Literally. Like, wait, what do I say? 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome back to, literally, what do I usually say?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Do We Know
Hello,
Them?
everyone.
I think
Okay.
so.
Oh my God, it's been a week.
It has.
Not that long. Anyway. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Do We Know Them? I'm Lily Marston here with Jessie Smiles, and we are sorry that we missed an episode. We're back.
Distance makes the heart grow fonder. Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think we needed a little break. It was kind of like a forced break, but it was nice.
Yeah.
Question mark.
We had a lot of stuff going on, and then it was Mother's Day, so like that was the only day we could have filmed, and then my mom would have been pretty upset. So
I don't know. She's a pretty big fan of the show.
You're like, don't come over, go film right now.
But anyway, we are back, and don't worry, guys. No conspiracy theories today. You can all put down your pitchforks.
I didn't. Jesse told me everyone was upset, and I didn't even want to read. I haven't read the comments.
I couldn't even read the comments. I just saw someone on Reddit say that everyone was upset. I was
But
like,
I did want to throw out there that like
we were just having a good time.
I'm always the skeptic. Can I just have a little fun for once? I'm not out here drawing up the schematics for a fucking time machine. I didn't think it was that legitimate. I just thought it was weird.
And I did think it was legitimate, but I'm also kind of stupid.
It was just a fun thing to explore, and it was such a wild coincidence.
Yeah, I think honestly, when we have genuine fun, like when we're like literally just like, ha ha ha, that was so silly. For some reason, it does make people mad. We always fuck up those topics.
I feel like people can't tell when we're like
being serious or just like having a good time.
I guess. And like we weren't being serious, but like also we were. Like, come on.
I believed it.
Like, what did you read one comment that was like, you guys need to get grounded in reality or something. It was like, okay, chill the fuck out.
Yeah, I have to say, I've expected worse for a lot of other topics, and this wasn't one of them.
That's how it always is.
Know. But I'm sorry we pissed you off with our conspiracy, guys. We just, I can't say we won't do it again. We probably will do it again at some point.
No, probably. Some people liked it. I got some tweets saying people liked it. I guess the comments just didn't.
I don't know. Well, I'll never check, so I guess we'll never know, but
whatever, yeah. Anyway, yeah, hopefully you won't hate us for today's episode, but I'm sure some people will because I even hate us for today's episode.
A lot of people hate when we speak about this person. Totally valid. I get it. I hate when we speak about this person. And honestly, had nothing big happened, I haven't kept up with it. Lily's gonna fill me in. But I know something big happened.
Like 8 big things have happened. Technically, I mean, big is relative with her. But this one, people are like very upset about.
Oh. Okay, well, we're talking about our good friend Adrielle. Not good friend at all. Don't know her. Never want to know her. But what's really funny, I don't know if we mentioned it yet. A lot of people tag us in her videos because we have spoken about her multiple times. If you guys don't remember, she's the one that wanted to like sue the coffee shop because they told her not to film in there.
And then she got mad at the Walmart for her son getting sold a knife. And then also the TJ Maxx thing. And then also the cop stalking thing.
And also the begging for like people to go watch her live while she pretends to be sitting on a vibrator.
Yes, that too. There's no shortage of things that she has done. And again, this thing that we're about to talk about is something people are like really up in arms about, but I feel like we've even said no to covering her like several times in the last few months when we could have.
So people are always tagging us in her videos, and recently someone tagged us in her video and she just responded to them saying no.
It was like, do we know them? No. Like, seems like you do. That's actually a good way to gauge how serious this recent thing has been because her comments are turned off.
Oh, shit. What the hell? That's really unlike her. If you do not know, she is the clout goblin of all clout goblins. She has no shame.
It's an insult to other clout goblins to call her a clout goblin.
Jeez. Okay, so this is bad.
Yeah, and it also is a little touchy because it involves her son who's 14.
Oh.
I don't want to speak about that aspect of it that much, but it's a little unavoidable to not like mention his involvement. We're not going to like show any videos or pictures of him or anything.
Okay.
But basically the backstory is, should I just let her tell you?
I'm scared for that, but sure. I guess it's the right thing to do.
And again, if you're familiar with her and our coverage of her, she doesn't just post about something once.
No.
She posts about it like
minimum 100.
I was going to say literally 50 to 100 times in a week. But also one of the things that is going to come into play here is it's not so easy to lie and like kind of shift the narrative when you record literally everything and you can't keep your mouth shut. And that's one of the things that has happened here. That's what people are using against her, basically. Okay, so we are going to look at some videos prior to this because they're pretty incriminating, but This all starts with an incident that happened on May 2nd, so it was like 2 weeks ago. This is the beginning when she posts this.
My son had to stay after school. It is 5 o'clock. He's still not home. He had issues with Spanish class. He was going to stay after to finish an assignment and leave when it's done. It's 5 o'clock. I still haven't heard from my son. He hasn't walked home. He hasn't called for a ride. I'm blowing up his phone. I don't know where he is. I called the school and no one answered. His phone goes to voicemail. So I called the school and they don't answer.
Well, it's because it's 5 p.m.
I think it's fucked up that if you have kids staying there after school, you should have your phones on at all times. You should answer the phone for parents at all times. If there are kids in your building, you should have your phones ringing and someone should be answering those phones at all times.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he's probably not in the building if it's 5 o'clock and you just suggested that he like should be home already. So probably no one's at the school.
I'm so confused as why she's talking to us. What are we gonna do, girl? Like,
because it's Adrielle.
oh, right. I forgot. You're right.
That's the thing. And like, again, if you're unfamiliar with this content queen, anything that happens, even like if it's legitimately something, I mean, usually nothing that happens is worth being as dramatic as she is, but she always has to turn it into like some kind of dramatic story.
Right.
So now I'm going to drive to the school and see if I can find him. I'm so sick of going through this. This is probably the worst school district I've ever had an experience with. This is Jamestown Public Schools. I'm in the school parking lot.
The amount of name dropping and like calling out she does during this entire situation is absurd to me. And she already has gotten shit because she has said this kid's schools before. She has 3 kids, which is mind blowing to me. Literally, she'll say what school he goes to and stuff. And I'm like, maybe you shouldn't do that, but okay.
School parking lot. I just got here. It's 5:05. This is terrifying. This lack of communication is just terrible. I didn't even know he was staying after today until I got a call from him. And then I called the school to confirm with the principal what was going on. I had a long talk with the principal. I really hope someone answers the door. I don't know if they're going to answer the door.
Oh my God.
No one's in the office. If they keep kids after school, they should tell us when they're going home.
Oh my God. She bothers me so much.
No one's here. I don't know what else to do. I've exhausted my resources. I'm going to have to call the freaking cops. Like, I'm going to have to call the cops to find him.
I just want to throw out there that one, remember that there was the state trooper that was stalking her. She also has had other experiences with the cops that like suggest she's not a fan. And most recently, she even had accused the cops in this town of hacking her phone. But now she's going to call them to get help for her son. Yeah.
Oh, got it. My question is, if it's 5 p.m., why the fuck didn't she go earlier to the school? Like, if she was concerned, why did she wait till like everything is closed? I know she doesn't have a job.
Ugh, we'll get to that. Oh my God.
His phone is ringing. He's not answering. He always answers. Shit, I'm losing my mind. I just want to move out of this city. I fucking hate it here. He's not answering. I'm gonna run home and confirm he's not home. And if he's not home, I have to call the cops. I will keep you guys posted.
No,
I just pulled
please
over.
don't.
My son is calling me. Where are you?
I'm on that street by that old school.
Okay, but where are you? Okay?
No, I'm not fucking okay. Just pick me up.
What? Where are you? He hung up. Call 911. I'm on the way. What school are you by?
What the fuck?
Where are you?
I'm on the other side of the street. I'm on the street that's...
What school? Jefferson or Rogers?
No, Rogers. Yeah, on the other side.
Okay. I will be right there. Call 911. Okay. I just got here and he's not here. I called 911. They said they have no one available. Where are you? I am at the school and you're not here.
I'm coming to you. Back up your car a little bit.
I had to hang up my call with 911 because they said they have no one available and I can't find my son. What happened?
The need to narrate and film everything, like, you're insane. If your son is actually missing and in trouble, like, why the fuck are you, like, telling TikTok?
Well, and then again, naming his school, naming everything about him, showing the outside of his school. But then you get a call from your son, panting, stressed the fuck out, and you're like, oh my God, guys, what do I, like, why are you talking to us? Go put the phone down and go be there for your son. What the fuck?
It is insane.
Jeez.
So I don't know where her first explanation is, but this one really made me cringe. Basically, I'll give you the background of what happened is she says that her son was jumped because there was a group of kids that were waiting outside of the school for him. And apparently he's very trusting because she says they used to live in this, like, super small town, even though, like, do you not remember that she always refers to this as the super small town? So a little bit of a contradiction there. But she says then that they were going to McDonald's or something, and he was, like, offering to buy them food, which is strange when you realize that apparently it comes out afterwards, because she also shows a clip of this fight, because apparently then they, like, crossed through the woods to get to this McDonald's, and on the way there, they all jumped him. He was doing nothing wrong. It was just completely unprovoked.
Okay.
Apparently, what actually happened, allegedly, this is the part that's I don't want to get into too much detail about because obviously he's a minor and we don't need to go through the details and stuff because there's a lot of information that's swirling around from, like, people posting on Facebook that were involved and, like, parents, and it's really messy.
Okay.
She posts this video that makes it look like he just is being jumped and is, like, defenseless. And I mean, he is defenseless, but he's been jumped and that's it. Like, these kids are horrible. She calls it, like, a gang assault, which...
Okay.
I don't know if I'd call it that, but sure. Apparently, he, like, voluntarily went into this, like, planning on fighting, apparently. And it did turn south and he did get ganged up on by all the other kids. But the reason there was a fight to begin with is because he had allegedly SA'd not one girl, but, like, 3.
Who's alleging that? Like, people from his school, girls from his school?
Yes. Ooh. And these boys that jumped him were the brothers and their friends.
Oh, shit. What the fuck? Wait, but how do people know this? This is crazy.
Well, I didn't dig too much into it because, again, it gets really messy and I don't really want that to be the focus. I want it to be like how Adrielle is spinning this entire situation and making it 10 times worse.
As she does.
For example, she had posted a video of the fight that, because, like, the kids obviously had to film it.
She is the worst. My God.
Then other clips from the fight started surfacing that showed she had edited the clips that she posted.
Oh my gosh.
Because she acts like her son, like, no one says anything except, like, they're, like, trying to rob him and all this stuff. But in reality, the longer clip shows that one of the girls, I mean, there's pretty much only one girl there, she even runs up and starts participating in the fight and she's, like, punching him too. And she says very clearly multiple times, "That's what you get for touching me."
Oh my gosh.
Obviously, Adrielle left that part out.
So she purposefully edited just that bit and kept it so that he looked like he was innocently getting jumped. That's crazy.
Yes. And then she has shifted this entire thing to be Jamestown, New York is such a dangerous place. There's really high crime rates. And she has started a GoFundMe for an emergency fund so they can move safely. The problem with that is that people have pointed out how much she brags about how much money she makes.
Oh.
And not even a month ago, it was literally at the end of April, she talks about how she spent $17,000 in a month and, like, acts like that's very normal.
Oh, on what?
We'll get to that. But
Jesus.
Get ready because she has posted at this point, like, I'm going to show you a video from May 6th. At that point, she had posted so many times, including, I think, the video of the fight several times. And then I find this one where she has the son off camera and she is, like, interviewing him. It is the most absurd thing I've ever listened to.
I'm with my 14-year-old son, Sven. What happened May 2nd?
I got jumped.
How scary was that?
A little bit.
It was pretty scary. Do you think that it would happen again if you were around the people who jumped you?
Probably.
Today something happened. It's May 6th. What happened today?
A group of kids in the high school jumped a special ed kid in the bathroom.
So that's him saying that a group of kids, and I guess she says or implies that it's, like, the same group of kids, jumped a quote unquote special ed kid in the bathroom.
Yeah, I was like, there's better titles for that. They're not a special ed kid. Like, that's...
Well... Also,
anyway.
I don't know how legitimate these are, but I saw comments that people had posted on Reddit that is allegedly that's not true.
Wait, really?
At the very least, that they're not special ed. But the parent was like, stop posting, because she posted a video of that too, of course. And the parent supposedly, if this is really them, was saying like, do not post my kid. You don't know anything about the situation. Stop talking. Like, go away. But of course she did not.
And what is this like armchair fucking psychiatrist bullshit she's doing right now?
I was losing my mind because it gets even worse. The acting and the dramatics in it is just like, what is this? Yeah. Like, does your kid think this is normal? Because that's really sad.
Well, obviously he does, because this is his mom. And it's hard because do I think that, to a certain extent, she's going through something? I don't know what that is. Yes, obviously. I mean, she's not a person that is like,
no, she clearly
super
needs
grounded
to get some help.
Yeah, so it's tough, but it's also like you're exploiting the fuck out of your kids. You're also potentially, allegedly, protecting them from doing, like they did something bad and you're trying to protect it, which I can't stand fucking parents that do that. It pisses me off so bad.
While simultaneously, whether they did stuff or not, exposing and putting these other kids at risk.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's saying their full names. She's posting pictures and videos of them.
Jesus.
They're all minors.
That's insane.
How many of them did you see at Allen Park when you were gang assaulted?
Like one, I think.
And we don't know who the cameraman is. And there were some against the wall we couldn't identify because they were out of the frame. What else happened today?
I got my tooth filled in because it got cracked and wood chipped.
You had to have Novocaine. You had to have several fillings.
She's scaring me.
Isn't Novocaine required for all dental work pretty much?
It's the numbing for your...
It's numbing. Yeah. It's like weird thing to point out, but okay.
What else happened today? We had a visit.
We got visited by Mr.
Who's that?
My principal. He said
He's the principal of who?
Middle school.
Of public schools in New York, Mr.
How is this real?
Why is she saying... We're going to have to mute the fucking school name. Why do I care more about her son's safety than she does? What the fuck is going on?
That's the joke of this whole thing, is because she is acting like they are in immediate danger and they need to move out of this town. And I'm like, who do you think is also putting everyone in danger? Like, are you kidding?
She's putting a target on his back. This is insane because she's super hated on the internet. She doesn't have a loving following that is like super behind her no matter what happens. She has people who follow her and who make fun of her every single day. And you're giving away your kid's fucking... I mean, everybody knows what a school schedule is, right? We know what hours he's going to be there. And now you're giving his name.
And then there's a video out that she had posted before all of this where she talks about they had like 2 fake general welfare checks. I don't know how she phrases it. I'll find the video and insert it. But it's like there were 2, I don't know if she says charges or like people were accusing her son of things, but she didn't want to talk about it. So she was aware, whether it's true or not. But like,
well, if she edited that part out of the fight, then she's absolutely aware.
Exactly. So it's like she knew before any of this, obviously, that something was going on with her son that people were accusing him of doing. And then clearly she knew the thing about the fight. I mean, maybe he lied to her, but like it seems pretty obvious that she's trying to protect him. But then if you already know that your son has like a target on his back from that stuff, and now you're going to literally weaponize this entire situation and like call out these kids, how is that going to end well?
Oh, it's not. And I think she knows that, but I honestly don't think she cares.
She cares more about like making money than she does about the safety of her family, but then she acts like she needs to make the money for the safety of her family. And it's like, maybe you should save the money you've been making then.
She's not thinking about anything other than like, let's make a good video right now. That's like all that's on her mind.
That's why I said when she started filming the thing when she went to the school, it was like lights go off in her head. She's like, oh my God, this is a good story. Let's see what's going to happen. I'm not going to say she wasn't worried at all. I hope she was worried if she's just a mom at all. But at the same time, I feel like she like also has like dollar signs in her eyes anytime something happens. And it's like, maybe she was worried, but also she's like kind of glad it's happening because it's giving her content.
Right.
What did Mr. come by the house to say?
That I have a suspension at...
What's mean?
Where you get sent when you get suspended or expelled.
Okay, how many of the kids who gang assaulted you go to me because they're either expelled or suspended?
Most of them.
Most of them? Like 50% of them or 80% of them?
I'm not
What are we
sure.
doing here?
Probably.
How many can you count? Just I'll give you a moment to count.
Oh.
What?
Oh my, oh no. Something's going on here. Something's wrong here. This is going to be kind of complicated because it's only been like one comment that we've gotten before, but there has been people that have said, you guys, she's obviously like an addict or she's going through something, like stop giving her attention and basically stop picking on her. And I didn't really believe that up until whatever she just did right there, like rolling her eyes back in her head. That did kind of make me feel like maybe she's on something. I don't want to like speculate on what. It just, she's not here right now present with us. It feels really ominous. I don't know.
I agree that this entire clip feels very odd, but
Yeah.
I also think that obviously I do think there's also mental health things going on.
Right.
But it seems like she's always trying to put on a show, and like this whole dramatic
Just
persona
seems like
of
bad
her
acting to
questioning-
you.
Yes. But before we go any further, I think we need a break. Let's
Yeah.
take a word from our sponsor, Factor.
If you guys don't already know, Factor provides delicious ready-made meals that are fresh and never frozen. And each meal is chef crafted and dietitian approved.
Which I always say is good because when I have those, then I don't have to eat fast food every day.
And the best part is that they're ready to eat in just 2 minutes.
And there's a weekly menu of 35 options, and that includes popular options like Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, or Vegan and Veggie.
And then they also have a ton of add-ons that you can choose. I love their little like wellness shots, but they also have breakfast, on-the-go lunch, snacks, beverages, things like that.
And you can customize your weekly meals so you have as much flexibility as you need.
So if you guys want to try Factor for yourself, you can head over to factormeals.com/DWKT50 to get 50% off of your first box and then 20% off of your next box.
2 discounts. That's code DWKT50 at factormeals.com/DWKT50.
And thank you so much to Factor for being an amazing sponsor of this podcast. Regardless of if it's substance abuse or it's just her acting, trying to get whatever, I don't know what she wants out of this video, it doesn't really matter because it's still doing the same thing, which is exploiting her child, which is creating content that shouldn't be online. Like the shit that she's put out there, it will come to bite her kids in the ass. And I feel like it has.
That's the thing. And like, even again, like her making a whole spectacle of this entire thing when there could also be like some legitimacy to the allegations against him. Like now, like a lot of people know about that.
Right.
Whether they're true or not. So it's like, that's going to follow him around. You're literally trying to make like a reality show out of it and try and make a buck.
Well, and if he really did go through something traumatizing, I just can't imagine shoving a camera. I mean, it's not in his face, right? But he's there and he's having to appease you by performing to a certain extent and like be like, well, it's this many kids. How much percentage? Like, what's the percentage on that?
And
then while he's counting, she's like rolling her eyes back in her head. And it's like, this is too much. This is like really insane.
And also, she doesn't stray away from showing her kids on camera, especially him. Like he's definitely been in a lot of her videos. So I have to ask, why is he not in this one? Is it because he didn't fucking want to be and that was the only way you could convince him to do it is if he was off camera? Because I don't know why else she wouldn't be like exploiting the fuck out of him like she always does.
This is so sad.
Like 5. So like half.
Do you think it was fair that you were given a 5-day out-of-school suspension today?
No.
Why not?
Because I got jumped and they didn't get in any trouble for jumping me.
No, they didn't. The police finally transferred your case to a juvenile detective. We filed a police report in the emergency room on May 2nd. And today he was with me when I brought his dental records, an update to the police department, and they told me that he now has a juvenile detective's fen. Have you heard from the juvenile detective?
No.
No.
See, and the reason I suggest that it could just be bad acting is the eye contact constantly, like looking back to the camera to be like, you see, you heard
This
him.
actually makes me feel queasy.
It's just
like
very
I kind
over
of
the
feel
top.
nauseous.
I know.
Have any of the boys and the girl been arrested yet since they've assaulted you?
No.
What did they take from you?
My chain, my Jordan 1s, and they ripped my shirt.
They ripped your shirt. What else did they try to take from you?
My phone and AirPods.
Did you give them your phone and AirPods?
No, I hid them.
They were in your hoodie.
Yeah.
Were you wearing your hoodie?
No.
She sounds like she's a lawyer trying to like make a dramatic case
I was gonna say
court.
she's speaking to him in a really, really strange way, and I think that's what's making me feel so uneasy. It's like she's definitely infantilizing him. Like she is like she's talking to him like a toddler. You know, it's kind of like with my daughter. Like if she hits me or something, and I'll just be like, "Hey, do we do that? Like, do we?" You know what I mean? Like it's just like he's 14 years old. He allegedly did something egregious to prompt the fighting. I'm not saying that's the way to deal with it. I'm saying
it's not saying that that's deserved at all. Obviously, shouldn't have kids fighting to begin with, but then also like ganging up on one kid is not
a fair fight.
Yeah.
All of that stuff aside, this is a grown kid. Like he's 14 years old. He's not an adult, but he's aware of what's going on. But yet she still insists on talking to him like this. I think that's what's making me feel so uneasy. It's like, girl, what are you doing?
And I kind of get the feeling that the reason she's doing it is less about like her relationship with him and like talking to him about it. It's that she wants to portray him as the victim, and I mean, which he is a victim of the fight, but also potentially there are people that are victims of his. And I think she's just doing this because she almost doesn't know how to like be like calm and a concerning mother figure. And this is like what she thinks that is. And that's like the act she's putting on for the audience.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Were you wearing your hoodie when you exited the school building?
Yeah.
You were? Oh. So you spent quite a bit of time with these boys before they jumped you. You had your hoodie on, you were walking with them. What were they trying to do?
They were trying to
like when you first... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna just end it here because I don't want him to relive the moment.
You're lying.
If I were to take you to that park right now, it's all torn up, under construction. They're building a new splash pad. These boys were playing it off sweet. They were pretending to make up with him and be his friend again. They were walking with him. They said, let's take a shortcut through the woods.
I see you! I never saw the end of it.
Lily.
I'm sorry. I didn't know. Jesus Christ.
Oh no.
What the fuck?
Oh my God, really
this is
scared, Lily.
The scariest horror movie I've ever seen.
Oh my God, hold on. I literally can't. I need a second to recover from that.
I'm saying that literally, I'm crying. That reminded me of the sand thing.
I wasn't expecting that. Oh my God. Literally, that was the worst moment of my entire life. I've had this thing since I was a kid. That when I get scared, I literally just start crying and process just sadness. Like sadness just comes out. Oh my God, that was horrible. That was honestly horrible. I have goosebumps. I wish you could see. There's something clearly mentally going on with her.
It's not funny.
It's not funny. I'm so scared. Oh my God, I was not expecting that at all, because she slowly got closer and then it like kind of froze because we're sharing a screen, and then like it unfroze and she was in my face.
Yeah.
I don't want to. How much more is there? I'm scared.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to bleep the names of the kids because she names them by full name in this one. This is, if we're backtracking a couple days, this is the day following when the fight happened. I don't know when she first announces the GoFundMe, but don't worry, because after she announces it, there's at least 100 videos of her like promoting it.
I just received a disturbing video of my son being jumped.
It's frozen for me.
No, that's, is it? Or because she also just wasn't moving.
They're attacking him. Is attacking him and telling him to find his gold chain. It got lost in the dirt. My son said, I don't know where it went. It's lost in the dirt. And he says, find that. While he goes like this, he spits. I obviously cannot share the video. Those boys piled up on my son, and I really want to post the videos, but it would violate the guidelines. It's bad.
She posted elsewhere.
Oh. And I don't know who the other ones are. Find the chain. Find the chain. Find it. And my son's like, I don't know where it went. And he has him on the ground outnumbered. There's all these boys on top of him. That's crazy. He's saying that's my chain. Oh, no, that's my chain. And your little friend picked it up. I have a video of him dangling it. Wow.
She is addressing the kids directly. Again, they're all minors. And also she is framing the entire situation to be like they were robbing him, which, like, I'm not saying they didn't take some stuff from him, but like that's not what the motivation of this fight was, and you know it.
Right. Yeah, I just think it's so weird that a 14-year-old has a $1,200 chain to begin with, because the thing is, like, she's not rich. You know what I mean? Like, we know that. Especially if you're having to do a GoFundMe to move. Like, you're not rich. That's just a weird thing for your kid to have, I suppose. Not to victim blame, but yeah.
No, let's take a quick break though, and go back in time to two TikToks that she posted on April 28th and April 29th. Here's April 28th.
This is my life in a nutshell. I'm a single stay-at-home mom. I don't think moms should work. And I don't think that they should be required to stay with their partner if they aren't happy. So, in my opinion, I think that moms should just live that mom life, free of men, and do what makes them happy. I will do anything in my power to avoid working. Why the fuck would anyone want to work when being a mom itself is a busy job? You have to take care of your kids. So this is what my day looked like to you. Like, this is what it'll look like. I'll tell you what I did.
We don't really need to listen to what she did because it's nothing.
But she'll do anything to avoid working, which
that
includes
and then
a GoFundMe.
I want to point out, if you guys are just listening, that during that first 30 seconds, she's pulling out and like, yeah, she's pulling out fucking money to be like, oh my God, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Look at me. It's weird. But then we have this one from the next day.
This month I spent close to $17,000. I'm a single stay-at-home mom of 3. So I'm financially responsible for 3 little humans. A lot of your jaws dropped. How could you possibly spend that much in 1 month? Well, here's how. First of all, I pay my rent in advance, and it was due.
I do want to throw it out there that I was like, how much in advance? How many months are you paying? You didn't really clarify that. But then also, I did take a quick gander at the Jamestown, New York real estate scene. First of all, to buy the houses, and I'm not saying I could afford this, and that this is like no big deal, but comparatively speaking, and especially me being from California, for me, I was like, oh wow, the like median house price is like $100,000.
Holy shit, that's really cheap.
I was like, oh, which I do have to say, she isn't lying later when she like talks about the crime rate and stuff being high. Apparently it is. But also, she's lived here for a long time, and I won't say she's never talked about moving because we'll get into that in a little bit. About a year ago, she was saying the exact same stuff. It was like the exact same narrative. Her son got into trouble and that he was in danger and they needed to move. But rent-wise for houses, like 3-bedroom houses, very much consistent pricing was like $850 a month.
Holy shit. Okay.
My rent is $750 a month. I have 2 full bathrooms, 4 bedrooms. 1 is downstairs. By the way, it's upstairs, downstairs. This entire building has 3 units, a total of 10 bedrooms. Here I am upstairs. There's the 2nd full bathroom. It's cute, up to date. Down the hall, I have some boxes. 3rd and 4th bedroom, an attic. I have a basement, a front and backyard. $750 a month. I'm outside Buffalo, New York. Now, how is a 10-bedroom multifamily house so cheap? They all are in this region. Obviously, I'm not going to give you my address, but there is my house, assessed at $39,000 in 2018. This is the area I live in. I am 4 blocks away from a beautiful state park. And, you know, this is my neighborhood. This is about 2 blocks away from my street. Like, this is the street I live on. Average, nice, quiet part of the city. Actually, right down the street from my grandparents. If you look at the real estate in my city, multifamily homes are cheap. Like, you have 6 bedrooms, $86,000. 6 bedrooms, $69,000. And if you just want to buy a nice home, they are all affordable. What kind of city do I live in? I live in a big city. You know, there's over 100 restaurants, about 15
grocery markets to shop at, lots of local businesses, local bakeries, cafes.
So I was like, oh, wow. Should I move to Jamestown, New York? So I don't know how many months she's paying, but
even if she paid like 2 or 3, it would equal like 1 month of our stuff.
Exactly. So her rent is not like the craziest expense. And supposedly, according to her, she's making, I think, I couldn't find all the videos, but I'm pretty sure people were referencing a video where she said she makes $30,000 a month.
Oh my God. On the fucking lives, right?
Yep.
Jeez. Okay.
Then my car had to get totally repaired. That alone was close to $5,000, and I also had to rent a car, which was over $1,000. So now we're already at close to $8,000. Okay, so what? You still spent $12,000, huh? Yeah, because if you think about it, kids are always growing, and you have to take them back to summer shopping. I'm in New York, and they need summer clothes. So that was like $1,600. And then we had to pay for groceries. And my kids like to eat at restaurants, DoorDash, and they're in sports. I spend about $3,000 a month on groceries. So now we're almost up to $5,000. Because between DoorDash and restaurants, I spend probably $800 a month. Okay, then there's gas. Gas is probably only a couple $100s a month, honestly. There's my car payment. Then my utility bills, which are sky high. My utility bills are easily $800 a month.
That is absurd to me, first of all.
I have a house with 2 like HVAC separate systems, and no, girl, I don't pay anywhere near that. Are you nuts?
Right? Like, and also that doesn't include internet, because she's about to say that she pays for internet as well. So I'm like, what are you doing to, like, you're have like a grow operation in there? Like, I don't.
I have my internet. I have 2 phone bills. Each of my kids have a phone bill.
You know what I really hate is when people try to flex or like do things like this, but also simultaneously show like, wow, look how much money I can spend because I make so much money. My thing is, why do you have a car payment? If you have so much money, you should have been able to pay off that car in a month, 2 months. Why do you have a car payment? No, but you know what I mean? Like people who are spending $17,000 a month in shit can easily afford to pay off something. It's just someone who's really bad with money.
It's weird because she's simultaneously trying to be like, oh my God, look at, I can spend this money because I have it, but then also kind of just like making it seem like, well, I had to do it. And it's like, but you're also kind of bragging like you can do it.
Right. Well, and the thing is,
it
always just comes down to, in situations like this, like do what you want, say what you want on the internet, fine. But don't come around with a GoFundMe if you're going to be like this. Like just don't do it.
And that's why people were so mad. It's like, you shouldn't be spending all of your money every month, especially if you have 3 kids. You should be having some kind of emergency fund that you're like,
and it's not like her fucking apartment burned down. It's because she just wants to move. Like that's not how GoFundMe works. We're not going to pay for your move.
And also, since when does it take $30,000 to move?
Well, she's obviously not good with money, so it takes her $30,000.
No, but like literally, like even if you were moving across the country, $30,000? Are you joking? Like,
yeah.
So you're also then asking for people to pay your rent and stuff too.
Oh, you know she would. She would include like security deposits for her new place and all that stuff in there.
Oh, and she's complaining in a bunch of other videos that I don't think we'll get to watch because they're pointless and boring. But she's like saying that she's not getting approved for any places and that she spent like $100 on rental applications. And don't get me wrong, rental applications and the whole finding a place process, bullshit. But she just is constantly like, everything happens to her. Everything is just, poor me. Everyone should help me. I've never done anything wrong. And it's like, maybe you do a lot of this to yourself.
Well, that's 5 bills. Then there's all of our subscriptions. Then they have like in-app purchases. Sometimes they buy games and stuff. And you have to give your kids allowance. So that's also income that's like my income that goes to them. Did you have to buy things off of Amazon? Like, you know, my daughter, she likes getting makeup and hair stuff, and I like getting hair stuff and supplements. And I get little things around the house off of Amazon.
Things.
I can't really think about what else it is. It all adds up though, close to $17,000 a month.
I think we jumped from like 8,000 maybe to suddenly like we're at 17. What do you mean? The fact that this is, I guess she actually posted this 4/29. So 3 days later was when the fight happened. And that's when she launches the GoFundMe.
Bullshit. That's so dumb. And the fact that she left this video up Ballsy, I must say.
Well, and that was the thing I was saying. It's like she films everything. I guess she has deleted a few videos, but for the most part, she leaves it all up. So people cross-reference things and they're like, that isn't really adding up. Here was an interesting one where she's like analyzing the footage basically of the fight. Of course, not the part that incriminates her
the edited
for doing
footage.
anything. Yeah. And she points out that a toddler is there, so an adult must have been filming. The reason she says a toddler is there, I'm a little... that just sounded like a person, but here we go.
Who the fuck brings their toddler to a fight?
I don't think there was a toddler.
A baby witnessed my son's assault. I want you to go to my Instagram, Adrielle Cherie, and watch the 4th video down. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh my God, I
this
hate her.
one right here. I think an adult was filming this because I hear a baby or toddler in the audio. I watched it again and listened to what I heard after like 4 seconds.
It's someone saying, oh no, and I do not think it's a toddler.
Now let me apply that audio to this video. I want you to listen to it again a few times. I think an adult was recording that with a baby in their lap.
That doesn't sound like a toddler to me.
I kind of see what she's saying. It sounds a little toddlerish, but it could, I mean, these are young kids. Like some of them haven't got through puberty. Like, you know what I mean?
It sounded like a girl.
This is a middle school we're talking about. It could have just been a middle school age girl.
But also she said baby to begin with, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it is a bit of a stretch, but I kind of see what she's saying. It does sound like a young voice, but they're young, so then it's just dumb.
I personally don't think it sounds like someone that isn't of the same age of the kids that are in the fight. But also, like, she's trying to constantly, like, spin it to be, like, worse than it is, so she has more to talk about. And also that she's like, and that means an adult's filming it. It's like, okay, you're taking a lot of leaps here. Like, can we calm down and maybe you focus on your son who just got beat up, because this is not helping anyone.
But before we continue, we really quickly want to thank the second sponsor of today's podcast, and that's Rocket Money.
Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings.
With Rocket Money, it's amazing because I have a clear view of every single subscription I have, as well as my expenses, which has been, it's been rough to be able to see them all laid out like that, but it's been useful. Literally, they'll send me an email. They'll be like, did you mean to spend this? And I'm like, yeah,
You're like, yeah, no one took over my card. That was me. As I always say, I have a problem with signing up for free trials because I'm like, well, I'll remember. It's only like in 7 days. That's enough time. No, I never remember. So thank God for Rocket Money.
Yeah, and I think that most people think that they spend way less than they do on subscriptions. And believe me, sign up for Rocket Money, see how much you're spending. You're going to be surprised. I certainly was. And Rocket Money has over 5 million users that have saved a total of over $500 million in canceled subscriptions, which has saved members up to like $740 a year when using all of the app's features.
I feel like $1 million of those dollars are from me. If you guys want to stop wasting money on things you don't use, cancel your unwanted subscriptions today by going to rocketmoney.com/DWKT.
That's rocketmoney.com/DWKT. rocketmoney.com/DWKT. Thank you so much to Rocket Money for being an amazing sponsor of this podcast.
As I said, she's posted probably like hundreds of things about this GoFundMe, which let's actually take a moment to look at that. So she calls it Emergency Move for Safety. It's raised over $4,000, which
damn,
I feel like it could have been a lot worse. I'm not going to blatantly say you shouldn't donate to it, but I would say evaluate your decision because it might not be going to what you think it is. Or, I mean, even so, again, movers don't cost $30,000. Why are you asking for strangers to pay for your move when you literally just are like talking about how you buy things off Amazon?
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. I mean, I feel like with $4,000, she could probably make it work and get out of there if she really needed to.
Easily. And the description is, our lives have become at risk living in Jamestown, New York. I'm surprised she didn't put their address as well. We have to move as soon as possible. My son was brutally assaulted May 2nd, 2024. Please help us move as soon as possible.
That's it?
Yep, that's it.
What the fuck? She couldn't even put a little bit of time and effort into that description.
And people are just feeling bad for the kids, I think.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but like then people obviously there's been like a big movement of people like suggesting you shouldn't donate to it because she's a scammer. One other thing I noticed though while I was looking up that GoFundMe is that she has another active GoFundMe right now.
For?
The same son who just was brutally assaulted. I mean, he was brutally. I'm not trying to be sarcastic about that, but she also has a GoFundMe for his braces. Ma'am, why are people paying for his braces? And we'll blur his picture out here, but it's there.
For how much is the goal?
$5,700, and only $190 has been raised. So this new opportunity for money was definitely a better one for her.
When did she launch that one?
When you Google it comes up that the emergency move, she didn't waste any time. She started that one May 2nd, the same day it happened. Less than a full month earlier was when she launched the braces.
During the same month, she spent $17,000.
Yes.
That's fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Yes.
That is insane.
Well, and also, like, most people don't get help with their kids' braces from strangers. And it's like, if strangers want to help, that's fine. Clearly, they didn't based on the donations. But don't be bragging about money and, like, pulling money out of your fucking purse and, like, counting it like you're rolling in it.
I feel like for the price that she spent in clothes alone, because she said they just, you know how kids are, they're always growing out of clothes. Braces are more important, no? Or like, are we not? She doesn't know how to prioritize. Is she just entirely full of shit? I don't get it.
It's just absurd. Let me also then go back to, we have a few here. Here's her bragging about money. So this is from June of last year. She's counting like, I feel like she's counting like hundreds. Yeah. And she goes, when your first TikTok paycheck clears, so I guess she started getting paid just about almost a full year ago. Exactly. When your first TikTok paycheck clears and the bank teller asks, what is your source of income? So I respond, TikTok, and I'm an Uber driver. Oh my God, if she was my Uber driver. Don't think she does that anymore, by the way. So she asks, what is TikTok? So I explain, and she says, geez, I should do that.
I'll take things that never happened for $500, Alex.
Did you tell her while you were at it that you're like an attention whore that makes up a bunch of shit and like harasses people and films them when they don't want to? Because I don't know if everyone wants to do that.
And also, this is kind of giving, because she's counting like, I don't know, $1,500, $2,000. Like, it's giving, you took out your rent money and put it back in. Like, it's just, it seems like very much for show.
That's the thing. I'm not saying she's actually necessarily like has a bunch of money. She might actually be broke, but also it doesn't seem like she's very smart about it. And that's why you don't brag about stuff that you don't have, because then down the line, she's launching this GoFundMe and people are like, what do you mean? Mm-hmm. So this is from a month later after that video is taken. And so July 2023, and she's talking about moving. Like about a year ago, she was already wanting to move. Maybe do you think that would get you to possibly start saving to move?
I mean, she doesn't even need to save if she makes that much, $30,000 a month. Just move next month.
$17,000. She still has some left over.
I pressed charges today, and I requested an order of protection against all.
Reminder: this is not for the same situation. This is some other situation, I think also involving her son's classmates or something. I don't know. But the caption on screen says, I'm saving all TikTok tips so I can save up and move ASAP. If 100,000 people tip $1, I can get out of here, buy a house, and finally feel safe. She's felt unsafe for a year, apparently. And
that's what
she's
it is.
Been
that
saving.
Kind of makes everything make sense, though, because then she has been wanting to move for a long time. She's blaming it on, I don't feel safe because of this or that. We know for a fact that she's lied about a lot of things happening in that city. So who knows if she feels safe or she doesn't. Maybe that's true. Maybe she doesn't feel safe. Whatever it is. She is using what happened with her son right now to try to get people to pay it because she's always wanted to move and she doesn't want to spend her own money to do it. Like, that seems like that's a solid thing that we can all agree on.
Well, and there's also people that have suggested that she wants to move to kind of help get her son out of this mess that he's in with the allegations.
Maybe,
I don't think that isn't going to follow you if you move, but...
Well, how could it not follow him when she mentions everything? You think just because they move, she's not going to mention what school he's going to now? If you don't feel safe, why are you constantly disclosing your location? Why do we know everything about you? She
does claim in another TikTok where she's talking about how it's like she's trying to find a house and she has driven hundreds of miles to go tour them and blah, blah, blah. She says that when she finds a place, she's not going to say where they're moving to. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. Here's a month after that where she's talking again about moving and also how much money she's making.
Okay, so let me read your comment. I do agree with you here because she makes $12,000 a month. How can you not afford to move? First of all, I just got monetized in May. My first paycheck was in June. And if you know how it is to move, whenever you apply to rent anywhere, they want to see like your year's salary. Like, they want to see your pay history, not just from the last couple of months. And people are already up in the air about social media monetization anyways, because it's new and it's emerging, which leads to my next issue. Just because I make $12,000 one month doesn't mean that I'll make that the next month. Some months I could make $5,000, $3,000, $7,000.
It just depends on how much drama she makes up. But yeah, so that's her saying, though, that apparently the first month she got monetized, she made $12,000. That's kind of insane. Like, the first month we got monetized, it was like $500.
Well, and this also coincides because we covered her, I feel like almost maybe around this time or like close to, I don't know, 8 months ago or something. She was not as heavily involved in the TikTok lives as she is now.
No, she clearly has found that to be pretty lucrative, I think.
Well, she has been begging on TikTok for likes, for follows. She came up on my For You page like 2 nights ago, and it was literally her just like, come on guys, come on, like send gifts, like literally just begging the camera. It's very uncomfortable, but that's obviously, like, she's making a good amount of money from that. So I would say consistently, she's probably been making those $12,000 a month, if not way more, like she admitted. Supposedly the 30,000.
And I don't know where the thing is where she says 30,000, but that's what she says.
And I understand what she means by, yes, you do have to provide usually like 3 months proof, but that would have already had her moved like a year ago.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. And she also talks about like how they don't necessarily see TikTok as like a conventional job, which, yeah, I'll agree. Like, I've experienced that it is very hard to get somewhere to approve you. When I moved into my last apartment, I had plenty of money in my bank account that should not have been a red flag at all. And like, it had been above a certain balance for a long time. I had to pay like a triple deposit because they were like, you don't get regular paychecks. And I'm like, but I do. They're just not the same.
You know what? I don't know if it's because I work with an MCN and that MCN pays me. I've never had that
maybe
issue.
That's it. But also, it's crazy that in LA it was an issue when like there's tons of people that do freelance stuff. Regardless, now she seems to not be getting approved for anything, even though she has been making money on TikTok for a long time. I wrote down for this one, I was like, explanation and update, but also small town contradictions, because get ready. I'm like, wait, the reason we know who you are is because all you would do is talk about your fucking small town.
People in this small little town I live in are so jealous of my TikTok following. People in my small town are straight up bullies to me.
I'm a vlogger in a small town. My small town is not accepting of that. And being the first vlogger in this small ass town,
I believe there's something fundamentally wrong with people that have small town syndrome. I live in a small blue collar town. People in this small town think that one rule can only apply to me, but not everyone else. This is the reality of being an influencer in a small town. People get jealous of you. They single you out. It happens in bars. It happens in grocery stores. It happens in restaurants. It happens in coffee shops. I don't deserve it. I don't do anything wrong, but they make a problem out of everything I do.
And it was definitely Jamestown, New York. Like, she hasn't moved in the last year.
I'd like to thank everyone who has donated to the GoFundMe link in my bio.
Not the music.
My GoFundMe has been somewhat controversial. I understand if you have to donate anonymously. A lot of the people who jumped my son are sifting through the names of people who have contributed and harassed.
I don't think it's the people that jumped your son that are doing that. If anything, it's probably just people that think you're a scammer, but okay.
Harassing them, so I totally understand if you have to donate anonymously. We have now raised $3,798 out of our $30,000 goal. All of this money is being saved in my GoFundMe account until we are approved for a new home in a safe city that belongs to a safe school district in a safe neighborhood. On May 2nd, I was soaking in the sun, hanging out under the trees, enjoying the spring flowers. My son was staying after school late. I was waiting for him to call me. I had just gotten my new balance beam in the mail.
How much was that?
A balance beam? Is she talking like gymnastics?
Yes, it's the weirdest. I was sitting under the tree,
smelling the flowers.
Are you?
Like, girl,
what the fuck are you doing? I told you, it's like, she's such a storyteller that I'm like, do you think, like, I mean, clearly some people are, but I'm like, who's buying this?
I wonder if she knows that should she go to that new neighborhood where everything's relaxed, she's gonna be the problem in that neighborhood.
I think she's the problem in most of the situations she experiences in this neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah, I do agree. If you read it and there is crime in that neighborhood, like I understand feeling unsafe, obviously. But I don't think she realizes how many problems she causes. Like she was in that coffee shop. Everybody's quiet. Everybody's calm. She's the fucking one filming people. She's the one making people feel uncomfortable. And all of a sudden the coffee shop's the problem and they need to go down. And I'm going to post on social media. What do you think is going to happen to this nice, beautiful little small town that's nice and peaceful? She's going to be like a damn tornado and run through it.
And that's even with the stuff that cops have been involved in stuff. She catastrophizes everything and like turns everything into a conspiracy theory. So it's like, even if there was just like a routine situation where a cop was checking on something, suddenly it's like someone's being held hostage and there's a that's going on, or like it's just like the most absurd shit you've ever heard of. Do you remember even with the coffee shop thing, she tried to say that they were like part of the mafia?
Do you remember when she thought that they were watching her in the bathroom?
Exactly. She just makes these situations out of nothing. So it's like, even if it isn't like statistically safe there, are those statistics even what she is saying makes her feel unsafe? Because she just makes up these stories about everything.
Right, yeah. Kind of hard to trust her
Going
word.
to the gym once I picked him up after school. My son is my gym buddy. We had been lifting every day at the gym together, and I planned on making lots of new balancing videos where I was going to do yoga and jump roping on a balance beam. Well,
like, why is she even talking about that? That's so weird.
Sitting at the
front
door of my house because I didn't know where my son was. I experienced every mother's worst nightmare. He wasn't answering his phone. Nobody would answer the door at the school. It was locked. The phones weren't ringing. No one was answering. I started panicking, and then my phone rang. It was my son. He was in danger. He told me to come get him right now. He's not okay. Hurry up. I panicked. I called 911. They said they had no officers available. I called my son. I couldn't figure out where he was. He told me the street he was on. I told 911 where I was. I called them back. I called 911 back. They said they had no officers available, so I hung up on them. I drove my son straight to the emergency room. It turned out that day, when my son exited the building, a group of kids were waiting for him on the corner. They said they wanted to walk to the plaza and get McDonald's. My son offered to pay for a couple of them and said he had $30. Well, he had $30 in his cash app. He didn't have $30 cash.
The weirdest details. Really? He offered to pay for food for the brother of the girl that supposedly like, it's all bullshit, I think.
Well, and also one of the girls was there, so it
Exactly.
would be really strange that he wouldn't notice that something was off.
Then also, I don't know where it came out. I think it was supposedly one of the kids at school had posted a status about it or something. But that supposedly it was like he was down to fight. He just didn't plan on like them all jumping and like having it be like
that makes more sense to me. Not that he would like casually go off with
no. Like he knew what
kids.
was going to happen. He just didn't expect them all to band together.
They wanted to cut through the woods. When they got him in the woods, they surrounded him, demanded his cash, demanded his phone, AirPods. He lied. He said he didn't have his phone or AirPods on him. They were actually in the pocket of his hoodie that he had taken off while he was walking. They brutally assaulted him. They robbed him of his shoes, his gold chain. He went to the emergency room, and I don't want to talk about his injuries. It's just too triggering for me. This has been very traumatic. Since then, my son was suspended. He was suspended after his gang assault.
You can't just say gang assault. Like
I know she keeps get ready for the other comparison she makes soon, but yeah, she keeps referring to it as a gang assault.
Like, okay, it was an assault. You can say that, absolutely.
Just because there was multiple boys doesn't mean like they weren't in a gang.
While he was suspended, I asked what my options are for remote learning, what the school can do to ensure and guarantee my son's safety because he's not safe in school. During that week he was suspended, I was in contact with the school, going back and forth. Please sign him up for a remote learning program. They told me who I need to contact. I keep contacting this phone number. No one answers. I left a voicemail. I got no call back. His suspension is over. He's expected to return to school Monday, which is tomorrow morning. This is terrifying. I explained to the school that we've been on road trips for 2 days. We've been driving. We drove over 400 miles, touring apartments, trying to find a new safe school district, a new safe neighborhood in a safe city. We are currently in Jamestown, New York, where crime is 1 in 28. The public school district of Jamestown, New York has a 1.3 star rating. The city of Jamestown, New York's crime is 84% higher than the national average,
most of those crimes being violent crimes.
Then, Girly Pop, why have you been there for the last year if you've been making all this money?
Yeah, a lot of times when people are kind of, for lack of a better term, like stuck in places that the crime rates are really high, it's due to a financial reason. If she has been making all this money, she could have gotten out a lot sooner.
I am so grateful for all of the donations we have received for this emergency move. However, the money is going to sit until we are approved for a place. We have so far looked at 6 homes over the weekend. I'm done paying for all of these rental applications, so I decided to contact landlords directly.
You don't get to just be like, I'm done paying rental applications. Like,
I'm done with taxes.
Okay, well then you're not gonna find a house. Like, what do you mean?
And we heard back from some landlords this weekend to set up a tour, but I suggested we do a virtual tour because unless I just keep driving, this other city is more than 100 miles away too. So, I feel like I'm at a standstill, and I hope to God that I jump over this hurdle and find a safe home in a safe neighborhood in a safe school district.
Do you want to move somewhere safe? Is that where you want to go? Say safe one more time.
You know what really is dumb to me? I mean, I've moved cross country so many times. You don't have to go to the town. You know that, right? Like, the internet is amazing.
But she continues to say, like, she asks for virtual tours, but like they don't really. I'm like,
okay, well, let's
sure.
say you don't do a virtual tour. Fine, whatever. Let's say you don't actually see either like a 3D model of it, or the landlord won't like walk you through with FaceTime or something like that. If you really need to get the fuck out, you can rent a place based off of pictures.
Yeah.
People buy homes based off of pictures in desperate situations. Like,
yeah, if it's that
you
urgent,
could just do that.
Like, you don't get to be picky.
I just feel like she's not good at doing things in the way they should be done, like, ever. Like, she just always has to do it in a weird or off way.
That's an accurate
but it's like, you're
assumption.
making your life so much harder.
I'm also single, and going through this alone is just terrible. I've been trying to spend as much time with family as I can.
I think that's interesting because her family, I'm surprised, even still speaks to her after the way she has treated them in the past, which ranges from everything from her mom. She accused her mom basically of murdering someone. What else? Just screamed at them, filmed them when they didn't want to.
Recorded their phone conversations. I know for a fact her grandma
accused them of like kidnapping. Yeah. Like, her relationship with them, it's mind-blowing to me that she still has one.
Yeah.
But I assume they're just doing it for the kids.
I just don't feel safe alone. I don't feel safe going anywhere. It's very traumatizing, and I'm grateful for all of your support. I hope that very soon we are approved for a new home to rent and live in peace, because that's what life is all about. We should be happy. We should be focusing on our health, fitness, doing what makes us happy.
What makes you happy seems to be filming your entire life and making it so a peaceful life is probably pretty unattainable.
I don't think she wants that. I genuinely do not think she wants a peaceful life with no drama.
But it's like, for her to say that it's traumatizing, like she doesn't want to go anywhere alone. Is that because everyone knows where you are at all times? Maybe you shouldn't tell them.
It's so bad when you're a mom and you want to protect your kids from making choices,
but not protect your kids from people knowing everything about them and where they live and where they go to school.
Wait, what choices? That's important.
Oh, get ready, because the choice is just that he trusts people too much.
See, that's bullshit.
We want to tell them, no, don't give people chances. Don't walk in big groups with strangers. You don't know these.
Oh, and also, strangers, pretty sure you have implied very heavily that he knew the boys that beat him up.
These boys were playing it off sweet. They were pretending to make up with him and be his friend again.
1, that they went to his school. 2, you said at one point that they had made up or something.
Unless she thinks that he would randomly leave the school and just be like, hey, random people I've never met before, I'll buy you McDonald's. Like,
exactly.
He knows them.
None of her story makes any sense.
All these people. These are kids who have robbed him before. This is the same group of kids who is affiliated with the group of kids who broke into my home and ransacked and robbed my home back in April 2023 while I was on vacation. Some of the kids were here in my home, invading it while I was in Oakland, California. My son's new to the city. He was raised in rural Pennsylvania, a small village, small town.
A small village? When have you ever heard anyone in the United States refer to where they live as a small village?
Do we have villages? Like, what constitutes as a village?
No, we do not have villages. I mean, I'm from Westlake Village, but no, we don't have villages. And she is just trying to make this as he just was this sweet, innocent boy that these hardened criminals took advantage of. And it's like, you're leaving some parts out, though.
Yeah.
The village, though, that killed me.
Very communal, or is it communal?
Communal was right.
There was not high crime. It was very safe where he was raised. This is his second school year in My son had very little experience at identifying criminals and how to stay away from them. He just gives people chances because he had no experience with cities.
I don't know, maybe these guys, the boys had some kind of prior record, but like, would you call boys at your son's school that get in a fight with him criminals?
I guess it depends on the scenario. I might. It depends. If they're like people who really did like just seek out to just rob him and beat the shit out of him, that's criminal behavior.
Well, not even saying that it isn't criminal behavior, but the way she was referring to it is, again, like he got like attacked by a gang.
Right. Well, that's how I guess she either sees it or is choosing to see it. My thing is that doesn't make any sense. No matter what town you're from, there's criminals there. He just has never met a bad person. He doesn't know how to sense vibes. Like, has he been in a cage his whole life? Like, I don't understand.
And also, though, back to like, would you consider them criminals? Maybe there's kids at a school in a low crime, quote unquote, area that would beat your kid up, but they aren't considered the criminals that you're taking these statistics from.
Right. Maybe it's that, or there's criminals everywhere. It doesn't matter how affluent a neighborhood is, how their circumstances are. There's good and bad people everywhere. So the fact that she's just like, he never, ever got a bad vibe a day in his life, and he just didn't know it when it was in front of him. Get the fuck out of here.
He was just trying to buy these boys McDonald's.
Yeah, I understand saying that someone's naive for one reason or another, but this is going way too many steps further than that. It's like, he had no idea what a bad person was. Yes, he does. Has he seen a movie?
And also, if you're listening, it says GoFundMe link in bio, as do most of her videos for the past couple weeks. And it's so obvious that she continues to have this story evolve in any way she can, like, maybe pull at someone else's heartstrings.
Right.
And I think she also is banking on, like, people that have not seen her content before seeing this.
That's why the comments are off.
Exactly.
Because she doesn't want
because people are onto her bullshit, and she wants the random people that come across her to be like, this poor single mom, her son got beat up and he was just an innocent little boy. And like, oh my God, what?
And how to avoid criminals. How to avoid getting robbed, not to trust people and set up boundaries, stuff like that. So I hope that very soon we're approved for a new home in a safe neighborhood, preferably like a suburb area that has that small town community feeling.
I even like small towns.
But is still in proximity to a city, because when we lived in rural Pennsylvania, the closest supermarket was an hour away. Our doctor's office was 45 minutes away. It was so rural. Personally, I would not want to live
Girl, you're a little bit too picky for someone who thinks they're gonna like die tomorrow. This is crazy.
I'm so over it. And I'm so irrationally annoyed at the like acting like she's now in a huge city when literally her entire narrative for the last year has been that she's a victim of these small town,
the problem is
people.
Her. And anywhere she moves, it's gonna follow her. Not by chance, not just because she has bad luck, but because you're the problem. You want that shit to happen so that you could document it. I just feel like no matter what small town or beautiful town she moves to,
she's a professional victim.
Fuck that shit up.
And speaking of her being a professional victim, this is a real video that she made.
Click the pink circle, I'm live. My son's assault, my 14-year-old son's assault, has become a Sandy Hook conspiracy theory.
Ma'am,
that was a real thing that came out of her mouth.
Someone needs to take her phone away. She talks so damn much, and it just gets worse every time. I can't with her anymore. What is the conspiracy? I bet you anything. It's the people believing that her son essayed a girl or multiple girls.
Well, she definitely wouldn't dare bring that up, though. She doesn't want anyone to know about it. But she also, I'll let her say it.
It's sad the world we live in right now does not provide victims with justice, and that individuals would rather trivialize someone's trauma and harm than support their recovery and healing.
I don't even really know what that means, but if she's suggesting that rather than comment on her TikTok videos that she's exploiting her son's trauma, that they should be donating to the GoFundMe, shut the fuck up.
She probably means you guys are all coming for my son. Obviously, she's not saying the essay thing, but I think that's what she's implying. Like, you guys are all blaming him for why he got beat up instead of donating to help us get out of here. And this will never happen anywhere else. But let's address, we got to go back a few steps, because if he did get accused of that, and that is true, doesn't matter where you move, that could happen again.
Then what about those victims?
It's just,
She likes to be like, oh, the victim. I'm like, he might have been a victim of a crime, but did he also participate in a crime where there are victims of him? Because you're really leaving that out.
Like, you are not a Sandy Hook shooting victim. Those people died existing. Your son, allegedly, even if it was just like he said something that pissed one of them off. Let's say it wasn't even as egregious as the essay. Like, he's getting into it with guys from school, which, as annoying and horrible as it is, and nobody should be fighting, that happens all the fucking time in school. There was fights like twice a week in my school. Yeah. Okay? It happens. So you're not going to compare yourself to innocent children and teachers that fucking died going to work in school that day. Hello?
But she is, because listen.
Well, I put a GoFundMe together.
We know.
And we have received tremendous support. I'm going live right now. We will continue to receive tremendous support. And I actually, it's almost gut-wrenching to me that I have been someone. I am guilty of this. I have been someone who has tagged along the bandwagon of conspiracy theories.
We know.
And I can now say, I understand how those families felt.
Stop.
You understand how the parents of kids who got murdered in a school shooting, you understand how they feel because people are trying to allegedly hold your son accountable for something that he did?
Fucking crazy. This is, wow, that's really upsetting.
Does she actually believe that? Or is she just like trying to frame the narrative?
My brain can't go there. Like, I don't want to decipher what this person's thinking anymore, because she is so far away from any universe I'm familiar with. I guess I don't care about her. Like, I'm just like, I don't know what you're doing, girl, but leave me out of it.
Well, I mean, like, I think of, as someone with ADHD, that like when you're talking to someone and someone says something and it reminds you of something you experienced and you say it to like relate to them, it's not to like take over the story. But in no capacity, no world ever would Sandy Hook be coming up is like something that's like kind of like my situation here. Like, are you
She's a
fucking
professional
kidding?
victim. That's what she does. You know what's so annoying is that this has put me in such a bad mood. I feel like she puts me in such a bad mood.
Sorry.
But then I wish that we had a story to follow it up with that's not going to further our bad mood, but that's not the case.
I'm not condoning violence or harassing anyone, but this one might cheer you up a little bit. She posted this either today, maybe even today. It was a little funny.
Some lady just hit my car with a rake.
With a what?
While another car was
A rake.
driving by my house, honking the horn.
She has it on
sitting
video.
outside,
Of course she
and
does.
A car drove by, laying on its horn.
Okay, we don't care.
Thank you for showing us the front of your house. Hello?
Oh, she does all the time. There's been multiple narratives where she's filmed. She uses her
But she feels so
rain
unsafe.
footage. Okay, you ready?
While I was riding up the hill, this lady out of nowhere pops out and starts hitting my car with a rake. I have no idea who this is, and it just happened.
She's the hero we didn't know we needed. You know, it was like, interesting choice. Weird. Don't know what's going on here, but
what's so
I laughed a
funny,
little.
I mean, it's not funny, but I guess, I don't know, at this point I'm delirious. The lady's just like holding it out like with a dead arm. Like, it's literally just like being held out, and she could have just
that would take her
moved the
arm off.
car.
She was too busy filming.
Yeah, she was too busy filming. That's probably what it was. Because I'm like, girl, you could just go like this. There's nobody else there. I think she wanted to get hit with the rake, is my opinion, but maybe I'm wrong. Like, who sees a lady with a rake ready to hit your car is just like, oh, wait, hold on. I bet you anything she drove back around so it could happen again.
Like, she probably almost hit the lady, and now she's coming back again, and the lady's using the rake to, like, fend her off.
Her life is something else. It is quite theatrical. Well, this has been a fun visit back to our good friend, not good friend at all, Adrielle.
Yeah, you're welcome. There is deeper you can dive into, like, what's going on with the son, but it just didn't feel appropriate.
Yeah,
and
no, I agree.
This was about her and how she is handling this situation.
Which was bad enough on. Now we're going to move on to our last topic, which is something that I have seen all over my fucking TikTok. Lily, you haven't seen it, yes? No, I mean,
No.
Okay, so an interesting element of this is it involves a Kansas City Chief player known as, what's his name? Harrison Butker.
Oh, never mind. I saw this today. I finished watching it and my jaw was just like...
Yeah, this has been making its rounds. Women are pissed. So Harrison Butker is the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. I just know that Travis Kelce... I mean, everybody's going to get asked in interviews about this because I had no idea. First of all, I had no idea who this was, but I had no idea he was as outspoken, quote unquote, as he is in such a nasty way. And it's like,
It's such a choice.
Yeah. But also like, oh, you get away with this. Interesting on the regular. But now it went viral on TikTok. So now he's screwed. So basically, there was a college ceremony. I forget the name, but we'll see the university name on the podium right now. I think it was like Benedict something college. What's interesting is that this is not his first commencement speech. So, they'll invite celebrities to do the commencement speeches for many different things. I know Jim Carrey has a super famous one. Lots of celebrities have great ones.
Taylor Swift has done it.
Oh, there you go, period. But he has done one other one, I believe, and he actually didn't want to do this one, but he felt like he really needed to. His reasoning's very interesting. But this is a Catholic college, heavily religious, and I guess that's why they like him. I think he started opening it up with why he basically had to agree with it because he had a message that needed to be said.
As a group, you witnessed firsthand how bad leaders who don't stay in their lane can have a negative impact on society. It is through this lens that I want to take stock of how we got to where we are and where we want to go as citizens and, yes, as Catholics. One last thing before I begin. I want to be sure to thank President Minnis.
It's Benedictine College. Benedictine, whatever.
Never heard of it.
He continues, by the way, he's referencing COVID. This is all COVID. Like, you guys are the graduating class that had to go through COVID.
While COVID might have played a large role throughout your formative years, it is not unique. Bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues. Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as a growing support for degenerate cultural values in media, all stem from the pervasiveness of disorder. Our own nation is led by a man who publicly and proudly proclaims his Catholic faith, but at the same time is delusional enough to make the sign of the cross during a pro-abortion rally. He has been so vocal in his support for the murder of innocent babies that I'm sure to many people, it appears that you can be both Catholic and pro-choice.
He then goes to talk about how there's no gray area in religion. Like, basically, that's not acceptable. We need to, like, loudly and proudly be Catholics. And all I can say is, like, I hate when, like, my family members will bring up shit like this. Like, I have Trump-supporting family members. I have it all.
Yeah.
So I already hate when I have to listen to that in my everyday life. You're going to tell me I spent 4 years in fucking college and I'm finally graduating and now I have to listen to this bullshit? Like, I would be like, sir, get the fuck off of the stage. Hello?
Well, I mean, and just like a side note, I hate the whole like, well, if you're Catholic, you can't believe that. Well, first of all, you can believe whatever you want. Second of all, just because you're Catholic doesn't mean the rest of the country's Catholic. So why should that apply to the laws?
Oh,
Church and state?
Don't you dare get me geared up on that, sister. Because
I know.
It is
sorry,
so
I hadn't seen this
frustrating.
part of it yet.
Yeah, well, he goes on to continue about religion, and I understand it's a Catholic university. But usually these commencement speeches are supposed to be super inspiring, talk about their future and all the work that they did leading up to this. Not like Catholics are victims.
It's not
and
even
like,
just our world is shit. It's you're not special. We've all experienced shit.
It's whatever the opposite of motivating is. But he continues to basically say that Catholics are victims of the universe.
Our Catholic faith
Is
has
Adrielle
always
a
been
Catholic?
countercultural. Our Lord, along with countless followers, were all put to death for their adherence to her teachings. The world around us says that we should keep our beliefs to ourselves whenever they go against the tyranny of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
The tyranny of diversity.
Did he just say diversity and inclusion?
And equity.
That's
The
tyranny? This is so dystopian.
Congress just passed a bill where stating something as basic as the biblical teaching of who killed Jesus could land you in jail. But make no mistake,
So can
before
abortion,
we even
apparently.
attempt to fix any of the issues plaguing society, we must first get our own house in order, and it starts with our leaders. The bishops and priests appointed by God as our spiritual fathers.
You get it, right? He gets really religious and it gets really intense. So that's actually not what went viral. What went viral is the next clip that I'm about to show.
The next part is what I saw.
But basically that's what the entire speech was. It was super religion focused, but in a way that was like, we are being prosecuted. We need to like basically stand up to inclusion, I guess.
That was insane.
Yeah, well, he says shit like that all the time. And the reason why I wanted to include that is it kind of, I mean, it doesn't make this next clip make sense, but when I first saw this clip, I was like, where did that come from? Why would he say that? But it makes a lot more sense, you know, when you put it all together.
Yeah, it feels like the least egregious thing out of all of that, probably.
Yeah, but he had a special message for the ladies, so let's give it a listen.
For the ladies present today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you have achieved to this point in your young lives. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
Oh. The fact that it's not even like wife or mother, it's homemaker is the most important title.
I have so many issues. But number one, he's like, all my talents. Sir, you kick a ball. I mean, I'm not saying there's no talent. I'm just saying, like, sit down, please, for the love of God.
And the fact that he's doing this at a graduation where it's like, I'm happy for you, but like, fuck your education and career. You gotta go make me a sandwich.
That's the biggest thing where I'm just like, what is the point? These people obviously prioritize their education and they could also prioritize many other things. I bet you there's people that are walking that stage that are mothers, that are, you know, wives, that are whatever. And they also wanted to pursue their education because that's important. No,
you have to pick.
It's literally fucking insane that he thinks that that is in any way, shape, or form motivating. But you know what? Let me actually keep playing because look what happens the second he says the word homemaker. They love it. They love it. Ooh. It's giving Handmaid's Tale.
Oh my God.
She's the primary educator to our children. She's the one who ensures I never let football or my business become a distraction from that of a husband and father. She is the person that knows me best at my core, and it is through our marriage that, Lord willing, we will both attain salvation.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I say all of this to you because I have seen it firsthand, how much happier someone can be when they disregard the outside noise and move closer and closer to God's will.
Oh.
Isabel's dream of having a career might not have come true, but if you asked her today if she has any regrets on her decision, she would laugh out loud without hesitation and say, heck no.
Heck no.
This is
not hell no.
This is so upsetting. So she did have dreams of a career is what you're saying. Put them aside for you. So she could wash your fucking skid mark underwear and you wouldn't have to lift a finger in your house. She put her career aside. And by the way, she did it for her fucking kids more than you, I bet.
Well, and even like the things he lists aren't things that would like eliminate your ability to have a career.
As a man who gets a lot of praise and has been given a platform to speak to audiences like this one today, I pray that I always use my voice for God and not for myself.
I would venture to say you're using your voice for men. You're like, women, stay in the kitchen, be in the home. We don't need you in the workforce. We got it covered. Like you just said, also, sir, you kick a ball.
This isn't just a Catholic thing, obviously. This happens with the Mormon religion. It happens with any religion, really.
Well, it's the whole red pill movement.
It's like the trad wife thing, right? The traditional wife who just stays home. And I've seen it all over TikTok. Ex-trad wives that basically got divorced because their husbands just woke up one day and were like, fuck you. And they had no experience because they hadn't had a job in 10 years. They didn't pursue an education because they gave everything to their families because that's what was expected of them.
No bank account, no credit history,
nothing.
No anything.
I saw one lady say she literally woke up one day, went to the grocery store, had nothing in her card. And then when she went back home, like the husband was like, I'm done, I'm leaving. And that was it.
I actually might have seen that one too. But also there was one that it could have even been the same one. It was one saying that she had helped her husband build this company, and she was like very integral in like doing the marketing and doing all this stuff and managing it. And he was always like, no, don't worry about being on the paperwork for it. And then they get divorced. So she has no formal like written experience because she can say that she did all of this for a company.
But it doesn't matter.
But to anyone interviewing her, it's like, oh no, you were just the wife. He's the name on the thing.
The thing is that to be a good mom and a wife, it does not require that you give up every dream of a education, of a job, of whatever it is that you want to do aside from your husband and your kids. It is still possible. It may not be possible to do in the same exact way that everybody else does it, but it absolutely is possible. I saw this woman that's a neurosurgeon. I actually have her TikTok here. And she was just like, oh, I had no idea that my life started when I met my husband and got wifed up and had kids. It didn't happen before when I did my residency in neurosurgery. And like, if he got in an accident, she very well could be his fucking doctor.
It's not even just like, don't work. It's like, no, submit your entire being. Like, you have no identity anymore, except you are a mother and you are a wife.
And
to me,
ironically,
and
his mom, her name is Elizabeth Keller Butker, and she's a medical physicist who works in the Department of Radiation Oncology at Emory University School of Medicine. So,
which, like, it's screaming, I have mommy issues.
Oh, absolutely.
It seems like he probably resents his mom maybe for not being around as much as he wanted her to be or something.
Maybe.
And now he's like, oh no, my wife is finally the only female, because it definitely would be female, the only female that's ever been there for me. So like now he feels supported because she literally gave up everything to just
the craziest thing about all of this is that this is a fucking commencement speech. Now, I don't know if this is a real comment, but I did see this on a TikTok that said 2024 Benedictine college graduate here. Can't begin to explain how disappointing this day was for me. And there was other comments. This one has 66,000 likes. Like there was other people saying that they were there. Some people don't believe that. I would venture to say it's definitely not impossible that there were women in that crowd that were absolutely uncomfortable, because just because you go to a religious school, that doesn't automatically make you religious. I don't know if people know that.
I was just going to say, I mean, I could be dumb and off base here, but I feel like not every single person that attends a Catholic university is Catholic.
No, I know a bunch of kids who went to Catholic like high school and they were not Catholic at all. Like maybe they were, quote unquote, but they were just trying to get the perks of the school more than anything.
Yeah.
I just see it as like those women work just as hard as those men to be standing there that day.
Discrediting them on the day that is supposed
you're
to be
basically
their
telling them
like
no matter what work you did to get here, no matter what it is you want to do, that's not really important. You need to find a husband. You need to bear children, which by the way, not everybody fucking can or wants to. Everything else is bullshit and what the universe and the world and society is telling us we need to do, but we got to stand up. Like, you know how fucking insulting that is to listen to?
Diabolical lies.
Yeah, that is so fucking offensive to listen to after 4 years of hard work that I would be so pissed. But again, the college has to approve that speech. You know that, right? Like the college has to read that and approve it.
Oh, I mean, and I believe that they would.
Yeah.
But because they want to take their money for them to be students, but they don't actually want them to be.
Jesus.
Just to literally act like, hey, yeah, I know you worked really hard, but like now here, we need you to do the real accomplishment here is to find a man. Like, come on. Enough of this joking around with the school thing.
Just because you carried something or don't carry something, it doesn't mean you are born a certain gender and your entire life, like you have to meet those expectations of what someone else says you have to do. Fuck off. You don't know me.
And also his assumption, even at the beginning, when he's like, I would venture to say that like most of you are just excited to go meet your husband and have a baby. Like,
nah.
Wait.
Honestly, I love my kids and I love my husband. I need things separate from them. I need to work. I don't want to not work. I don't want to just like sit at home and play pretend while my daughter's telling me I'm not fucking doing it right all fucking day. Like that is not my dream. Okay. I love my kids. I play with them every single day. I don't have to give up everything.
Well, it's absurd to suggest that that's required.
Well, just to be a good woman or to be meeting up to what I was born to do. It's like, it's such bullshit. He is so Handmaid's Tale coded. It's scary.
Yeah. Well, and that's even, I'm like, when he says, what did he say that it's something about it was illegal to like state your religion or something?
Guess, yeah.
Or you'll be arrested if you'll do this. I'm like, yeah, like the people that'll be arrested if they try and get an abortion.
Yeah. I can't believe you brought that up, sir. We're not trying to have a debate. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show it because I know it's going viral. viral. Obviously, we hate him. What else is there to say? Screw you, dude. I don't give a fuck what you have to say about shit.
I could keep going, honestly. But
I know. I could be upset with him. I just don't give a shit what he says. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. But anyway, I'm sending you my We Love the Internet. It made me chuckle last night. So hopefully it'll make you guys chuckle. Because honestly, I've had a lot of funny, high interactions with my parents over the years when they either didn't know I was high or did know I was high. They always take it pretty hard, you know? Like when they're in, like I felt like when I was younger, they saw weed as like crack.
It took a while for my mom to like get used to the fact that I would do it. And I think the more I would, because I just didn't really care. I'm like, I was old enough that someone's just gonna like kick me out. Like I didn't live at home.
Yeah.
But like even like I'd go home for like Thanksgiving and stuff and I'd like go smoke in the garage before like breakfast. And she at first was definitely like, do you need to do that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I do actually, because I feel nauseous if I don't. And I would do it. And then I think the more regular it became, she also would realize that like I wasn't like out of my mind and like just like on another planet, which like sometimes that does happen. But like me personally, I would not ever be that affected.
Well, I don't know
by
if that
and
applies
when she would
here
see
because
that,
this person is kind of super duper high.
well, and so eventually now, like, she isn't fazed by it.
Yeah.
I think she prefers that I don't really do it, but I don't think I was ever, like, really high in front of her. Although, one really quick story, my old house growing up, my room was in the front of the house, so I had a window that overlooked the front yard, and I would smoke in my room sometimes, and she knew I did, but, like, not all the time. And her and my sister got home one time, and they come in, they're like, it smelled like skunk out there.
Oh, no.
He's like, weird.
Okay, wait. The caption's kind of important, and I hadn't read the caption actually before, so.
It says, some backstory. Due to some traumatic life experiences, I had reached my breaking point and ran away from Michigan and drove overnight to South Carolina, where I stayed for about a week until I was found. During those weeks in South Carolina, I lived out my college experience that I was never able to have before. I got drunk, did some questionable substances, and got a tattoo on my bed. No regrets, though. I lived. Eventually, though, I had to come back home. So here's from the night of my intervention, and yes, I'm doing much better now. And then the caption on screen says, my mom scolding my little brother for giving me my first ever edible while I laughed hysterically for an hour. Little does our mom know that my little brother had taken 3.
Because she's on medication and she has alcohol in her system and she's going to the doctor tomorrow to get a blood test, so she could get arrested. Okay? That's why it's bad. Because the doctor's going to find out she's on marijuana and she's already on other medications. Marijuana stays in your bloodstream for 7 to 10 days.
Look at his face. Look at his... He had, and I mean zero fucking clue what the fuck was going on. And it's amazing.
It's like he was like definitely focusing on something else going on.
He was literally just like, shit.
He's like, why is the floor so wood?
But you know what? I don't know why she would say that, especially with the context. The doctor's not going to tell police. Like, I don't, unless she had some criminal things going on.
It's not like, I love that it was that she's on marijuana.
When my mom found out that I smoke weed, she got one of those like at-home drug tests from Walgreens and was like, pee on it. I was like, Jesus, girl. They just get a little bit dramatic and it's funny.
I have one, but it was like really, I'll just play it. It's with animals, shocking. I saw this earlier and I don't know if it's just because I'm about to get my period, but I almost cried because it was so sweet. Surprisingly, it's not a dog though. It is a cat.
I was going to say it's a wombat. That's also not surprising.
Should we go to bed, Kermit? Let's go. Kermit. Good night. Love you.
Tell me that's the father.
I have to admit, it is very cute. But that song can be put on top of someone actually doing diarrhea, and I would cry. Like that song, and we have to mute it probably for copyright. But it's the "What Was I Made For" by Billie Eilish. That song ruins me. I can't.
Honestly, this video like made me like, do I get a cat?
No. No, if it makes you feel better to hear a story, I just got a new couch and my cat's scratching the fuck out of it, so don't do it.
Yeah, actually, no, fuck. And I have a leather couch, so it would not do well. Anyway.
I wanted to come back with a longer episode, so this one's definitely longer, but was it worth it? Is my question.
But I apologize.
But sorry at the same time. Anyway, if you guys made it to the end, as always, we very much appreciate you. And yeah, as always, have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you on Monday. Bye.
Cheers.